Okay, so you're getting bored of the beginner mask and you're looking for a new one to use that has different types of buffs and can quite literally save your life. This mask will help you in a lot of scenarios and some you will encounter today. Torch of Eternity is the mask that can change how you fight enemies. Let's get prepped to explore some dungeons, but first it's important we relax in the bathtub. Before we even venture out into the caves, we need to prepare to fight plunderers, mechanical enemies, and the boss. This is not necessary, just recommended. Bring some food and drink items covering all our bases, such as staple food, beverages, meat, fruit, and veggies. Cigars if you got them. Obviously, we want to bring bandages and coagulation cream if you have that as well. When it comes to gear, I recommend at least bronze gear. I personally ran through this dungeon my first time in bronze gear. Iron gear is not needed but can make the fighting less stressful. These mechanical enemies are resistant to all weapons except the hammer and gauntlet. A very useful weapon are corrosion tanks we will use against any mechanical enemies you might run into. Corrosion tanks can be found in the caves, through enemy loot and chests, so don't worry about crafting them. The mask will be located in the Holy Ruins dungeon, just north of the saber-toothed tiger boss. There will also be a portal fairly close to the cave entrance, so don't forget those 3 green crystals to activate it. If you're coming from the rainforest, it can be a pain to get to unless you jump off the cliff and directly into the water. Once you get there, head towards the waterfall and on the right side, which will have a walkway to the entrance. In the first section of the cave, all you need to do is make your way down until you reach a maze-like room with plunderers. You have a couple of options to get to the other side. If you don't have a mount and want to avoid fighting the enemies, I recommend staying to the left side of the room, where your only option you can take is a right heading towards the dungeon. Another option is, if you have a mount for example, you can simply jump over the gap on the right side, which keeps you away from fighting until you get to the dungeon entrance. Now if it's your first time running through the dungeon and you want to explore it, I'll quickly throw on the screen the location of everything you can find in this dungeon. I'll also put a link in the description so you can reference back to the map. Credit goes to Redditor frankffv. To use this map, we'll take a look at Portal 2 as an example to find these items like portal pieces and the mysterious stone table. There's a door just behind the stairs. The door is locked through 2 mechanisms we need to activate. Some of these mechanisms are high above the door, so you can either shoot it with an arrow or use a corrosion tank. Head through the hallways, avoid the traps, and you'll come upon 2 chests and the portal part 2 piece. If you plan on just heading straight to the boss, go up to the 2nd floor. Pay attention to the lit and unlit torches, as this is a clue that takes you directly to the boss. Go through the hallway until you reach the door on your left. This is where you'll fight the boss. The boss is pretty easy, but let's take a look at his mechanics. Throw a corrosion tank to weaken his armor and wait for him to attack. When he folds up into a diamond, he'll try to lunge at you. If he lifts up one side of his armor plate, he plans to laser you. That usually lasts about 2 seconds. Between each attack he tries is when you want to attack with your hammer or gauntlet. When the enemy completely unfolds his armor is when he'll do a spin attack. Similar to the attack, when a smaller section of his armor unfolds, a 4-point laser which will slowly spin. You do have the option to attack between the laser spins as well. Grab his loot, and in this room are 2 chests. Head straight to the north room, and inside will be the Torch of Eternity mask with 2 chests on either side. Head back to your base, set down your stone table, and equip the mask by pressing F on your keyboard. You'll see your mask you started with, along with other masks we can find or make in the game. Torch of Eternity has valuable life-saving features like life maintenance that acts as a self-repair, raising HP by 300% in near-death state, or tissue repair that recovers 10% of HP every 5 seconds. After leveling up your mask to level 10, you'll be given the option to get the Holy Mode Mimicry. When activated, this lets you convert 25% of damage taken into health. This will cost 5 yellow crystals per use. To activate the high energy crystal, you just need to press V on the keyboard, which allows you to become immune from any damage. To activate the level 10 node, you need blue and green crystals as well as the restrictive module. Let's find out how to get that module. First, we're going to need some poison proof mods, poison resistant medicine, and poison reduction meals. Meals, you have the psychedelic pot, which reduces poison by minus 0.05 per second, or bring some yerba mate, which gives you a plus 20 poison resistance. If you don't have either, bring some mushroom soup, which is plenty for this cave. We're also going to need to bring some poison proof mods. Poison proof mod 1 gives a 5% for each piece of gear, excluding the ring and necklace. Mod 1 is more than enough to explore in this dungeon. As far as medicines go, you can bring plant essence, which removes 60% of poison from the body, or if you have antidotes, you can use those as well, which gives you a plus 50 poison resistance. We have our new mask equipped to level up, prep for another dungeon run, and now we can set off. To find the restrictive module, we need to enter the Ancient Ruins dungeon just west of the 8 boss. There is a portal right next to the cave entrance as well. Once you've reached the portal, make a right and you'll quickly see the cave. This cave is infested with centipedes and poisonous frogs. I have lost the mount to this cave when I reach the dungeon, so I don't want to risk my jaguar. I'll leave him at the entrance and head out. Side note, this cave is one way to mine iron ores, and you'll also find the inscription next to some ruins which also happen to be by frogs. Follow my video and trek down until you come to a fork in the road. The right side will contain the inscription for a tech point, and the left side will be the entrance to the dungeon. It will be covered by some vines that you can just cut through as you make your way inside the dungeon. Like the previous dungeon, we found the TOE mask. You'll find all sorts of loot like portal parts and the mystery stone table. Make your first right and head through the hallway. You're greeted with 4 doors. The one you want to enter is the 2 torches where only one is lit. You will enter another long hallway reaching another door. We want to get to the door on the far right across the room from us. Go through that door and through another hallway until we reach an option to keep going straight or left. Make a left, head down to the next big door where on the other side you'll face 2 slayers. Knock them out or skip them and head to the next door. Keep going until you make a right, which is the door to the boss. Throw a corrosion tank at him and wait for his attack. If he spreads his blades, he will begin to do a spin attack, so be sure to avoid by sprinting to the side or backwards, so you can learn from my mistakes. If he clenches his body, he will do a considerable amount of damage if you're too close. If he points his blade at you, you'll have about 2 seconds to dodge his attack. When he raises and or changes his blade to a blunt-like weapon, he will spin his body in a 360-degree motion. The gauntlet is pretty OP, so wail on his body until he falls down to the ground. Meals that provide a lot of stamina or putting your gauntlet proficiency levels into stamina use reduction comes in handy. Once you defeat him, grab his loot, the 2 chests in the room, and head to the next door. Go up the stairs, head straight to the next room, and congratulations, you have found the restrictive module for the Torch of Eternity mask. If you guys are new to Soulmask, be sure to check out the game's biggest update that came out a couple weeks ago. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe for more and hit that like button. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.